Speaking of force and lack of accountability, what are your thoughts on the stark differences between law enforcement and medical professionals?
Oh, yeah, that was a really good point that was made in the video.
Right.
Because it's true. I have going through school. Like I was an international studies person, but all the rest of my friends were nursing, or something like that. So we all regularly had our like study groups together. And I know very well and good that like one or two mistakes, like your license is gone, and there's no getting your license back. Like it's gone, gone. Like you're gone, girl. Like that movie. So it's really weird, and like they like the pressure on them to perform, and like down to the fact of like in hospitals, like all the narcotics or like all the painkillers are like in a glass sealed container, and like your badge that you badge in badge out like is measured down to the T, because if you get caught giving someone or selling it on the black market, who knows what's like what where is that even that level of detail orientedness or like down to the boneness for police? Like where is your here, I'm certified to use legal force whatever, and if you mess up and abuse that, it's gone. You know what I mean? And that's with a nursing shortage. Like we've had a nursing shortage for like the last like 30 years. So that's with a nursing shortage that we just like could boot people out, they mess up. And yet we have a field that, we've talked about ad nauseum, that they're not taking their job seriously or not held accountable anywhere near the prospect that even a regular person would be. The double standard is increasingly high, like ridiculous.
Yeah, and just to add on there, not to obscure all of the medical injustice and racism and bullshit that happens in the medical
Definitely
industry
prevalent.
on a
Definitely.
daily basis right now. Yeah, an important part of the medical industry is actually caring, and I think the disconnect comes from like when thinking about police forces and police officers. That was never the point. The police force is to protect property, and I mean they can say serve the community, but serve certain people in the community. Starting from what they are tasked to do, and then like thinking about like the differences in people who join the medical industry versus people who join police force. Like the culture, the priorities, the intentions are just coming from two completely different places. And yeah, also not to say though, like the lots of things should change in the medical industry, and that it gets to Western capitalism and that, but yeah, when you are thinking about like caring for people rather than using force, dominating or controlling people, like the outcomes are just different.
Right. Before we close out and end this segment, what are your thoughts on the final proposal for the CRB? We've seen that seven should be nominated or selected by the city council, and then four should be nominated or selected by the mayor, with one of the four being a NAACP member. What are your thoughts on that?
The reason why I hesitate is because coming from the most raw, like actual place, I think it's still like so. It's all stupid. Like the whole thing is stupid. Like, I mean, obviously, I want to be an optimist and whatever, but like being for real, like this whole situation is dumb. I want to scrap the whole system. That being said, while in this moment we cannot scrap the system,
Right.
to work in place with this, it was a lot watching the video and like being like, okay, like each of city council gets to nominate one person, and the mayor still gets to nominate four, and she's one person. So it's still like this weird like balance of power is just so off, even though they still have a majority or whatever.
Right.
But even like I'm not even I don't even want to speak as if city council is a favorable majority. Like they both still suck. Really, I'm not even going to continue because I know I'm not going to get anywhere. Like I'm not really happy with the situation as a whole. Do I have any suggestions? Yeah, like scrap the whole system and restructure the charter so that the mayor doesn't have as much power. Period. And they all suck. Like I know that's like a lame point. I'm not really getting anywhere with that, but genuinely, like,
Yeah, it's real, it's valid, and it's what the proposal that we have in front of us. This is what can be passed off as accountability and transparency to them. Like this is as far as they'll go. Basically, is what
Right.
I am trying to say. It's really telling and incredibly like sad and frustrating too, because yeah, we're in this still in this brutal bullshit. I think this point about the strong mayor format. How is it even a civilian review board when four of the people on the board has to be put there by the mayor? Wouldn't this be even more accountable to the people if like the people were the ones choosing it directly, like not some proxies then choosing people to then be more proxies. Like,
Yeah.
I'm thinking like I would like to support the CRB in theory if it actually did something, but it's like we know that CRB can't really do nothing. Y'all know CRB can't really do anything. So it's like, why is there so much pushback, or why is there so much debate over something we both know can't do nothing? It's like you're like 15 and this child's like 4, and it's like, why are you gonna hit the 4-year-old when the 4-year-old's punching you? It's like, it's not hurting you at all.
Right.
So like, why are you trying to fight the 4-year-old?
Right. And then they debate it for God knows how long on like oh, we want to make sure it's 100%. I don't want to agree on something that's 99%. If there's 1% that could be flawed.
Right. And then it's like you say, oh, you don't want to debate, but then vote to like vote
No. Hello?
against it.
Right. Okay. I think it's Miranda.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, he pissed me off
yeah,
when he was
He's the
talking
one that
about.
voted no after saying that he didn't
Yes,
want
that,
like the
yeah,
debate
he
or
was
to go
like,
on.
he's like, I don't want us to be he kept saying that, I don't want us to be Washington D.C. where nothing gets passed and things get debated and everyone's wrong on both sides and blah blah blah. And I'm like, what? Okay, so I guess he's gonna vote it through just to get something happening. At least I can get behind that chaotic good. And then he votes no, and I was like, so what is the truth?
That's really what it boils down to.
And it just, you don't even know what you're talking about. Like there was a point in time where I was like, let me get everyone's birth times real quick, because at this point I don't even know what's happening. Like I really need to make sense in some structure that I can understand with, because this is a kangaroo court. Like none of this makes sense at all.